Welcome back to API Kitchen, where we cook up secure APIs. I'm confident Stavely, your chef de cuisine in this unique kitchen. Today, we're diving into a critical but often overlooked area of API management, logging and monitoring. Think of it as the seasoning that brings out the best in our API dishes. So let's get cooking. Step 1. Sifting through matrix. Our recipe starts by selecting the finest matrix to measure. Picture a chef choosing the best ingredients. That's what we do in our API kitchen. We look for failed authentication attempts, the rate of successful logins, the zestiness of our API response times, the mix of HTTP status codes, the dash of invalid input rates, and the pinch of error responses. But we don't stop there. We also measure data exfiltration attempts, rate limiting violations, API key usage patterns, access control violations, security token usage, and API endpoint activity. Step 2. Cooking with logs. Every chef keeps a logbook, and so do we. But ours logs more than just recipes. We track the when with recipe dates and timestamps, and where of each API call, and the who behind every request. We're making a digital breadcrumb trail to trace any unexpected flavors back to their source. Step 3. Seasoning with security objectives. Now, let's sprinkle in some security objectives. We're not just collecting metrics for the sake of it. We're using them to whip up alerts for suspicious authentication activity, to tailor our way to identifying normal user behavior and anomalies. Then we simmer down our service delivery to a perfectly timed response and roast out any potential attacks that come with sudden spikes in traffic. We are basting our APIs with proactive vigilance. Those HTTP status codes like 401, 403, and 500, I tell you, they are not just numbers. They are smoke signals warning us of potential security fires. Step 4. Presentation is everything. In the kitchen, presentation is everything. And in our digital kitchen, it's no different. Our logs are meticulously garnished with all the necessary details, ensuring that we can serve up accountability and traceability on a silver platter. But this is a meal that never ends. The world of API security is a buffet of evolving threats and new recipes for protection. Our mission is to stay hungry for knowledge and feast on the latest security best practices. Our guests will be joining us today at the virtual kitchen. So let's go hear what they have to say about fixing this security issue.
Anuprita is a product and API security subject matter expert, and she will be answering and just discussing with me about very strong issues around logging and monitoring. Welcome, Anuprita.
Thank you, Confidence. I'm excited to be part of this session.
Thank you so much. We cook secure APIs here. Are you ready in the API kitchen? Great. Okay, so my first question is, how significant do you believe logging and monitoring are in API management based on your experience? And I'd like you to please describe some of the most typical mistakes that businesses make when it comes to API logging and monitoring.
Yeah, for sure. So I believe logging and monitoring plays an extremely important role in API management as well as in secure SDLC because it not only focuses on the security aspect of it, but also with the performance and availability aspect of the APIs, which are crucial to gain customers' trust and in the success of most businesses. And talking about the most typical mistakes that businesses make is number 1, logging too much or too little. So most organizations are unaware of the importance of logs and end up logging everything, including the sensitive data and the PII, or sometimes logged information is too little that the logs are not useful in any way. And knowing exactly what to log helps in meeting compliance and audit requirements, as well as help in forensic investigations and at the time of security incidents. It is similar as to having a right amount of ingredients to make a perfect recipe. And the second part is that not using monitoring mechanism to discover forgotten or zombie IPs. So most of the zombie IPs are always deprecated or never documented IPs, which are highly susceptible to cyber attacks due to the lack of security features configured on it. It should be an organization's utmost priority to monitor these endpoints for abnormal API usage and log any suspicious activity which could be an attack.
That's such a comprehensive response, and I absolutely loved how you tied login properly to even just gaining trust, because that's the fundamental element, right? Just gaining trust, and that's what helps business. And that's how security does enable the business, because when you gain trust, your customers feel better about your product, and then you get more customers or you retain those you already have. So thank you so much for making that relationship. My last question is, what is one underutilized API security best practice, something that you consider the salt of the earth, a basic yet effective factor that can greatly improve an organization's security posture?
Yeah. So the one API security best practice that is still underutilized in many organizations is having a proper authentication and authorization, and on the APIs that involve sensitive data or endpoints that require proper authentication. And for this, organizations can use OAuth, OpenID, and JWT tokens, which are also known as JSON Web Tokens, to define access control and determine which users or devices or even roles can access specific endpoints by following the zero trust security model. This also helps in restricting third-party access to internal systems. And though all these concepts are different, but they help to build a proper security if they are intertwined together, just like adding many different ingredients and spices together to make a perfect recipe.
Thank you so much for joining us today at the Virtual Kitchen. Remember, chefs, in the API kitchen, our ingredients are secure code, our spices are vigilance, and our final dish is cyber resilient APIs. Keep your API pantry stocked with these robust logging and monitoring strategies, and you'll be serving up secure digital experiences with confidence. And that's how you secure an API in our kitchen. In the coming episodes, we'll be discussing even more API security issues and walking you through how to solve them. Remember to subscribe to CNET TV and hit that notification bell so you won't miss out on new episodes of API Kitchen showing each Thursday. Until then, keep your kitchen clean, your code cleaner, and your APIs secure.